Okay, guys, let's see what happens. Let's see if we're gonna get lag again. This should be a really good indicator because they'd have to, if it wasn't a coincidence, the lag on that first stream, they're gonna have to come find us again. Let's see if they do. Yeah, Isaac, Zachary, Willie, Ace, Code, Mr. Badlands. Yeah, I just went and restarted the whole thing because there was obviously they were not going to let that stream survive. So let's see what happens in this one. Doesn't it seem awful coincidental that awful coincidental. I'm sorry, I was just distracted by something. Awful coincidental that as we started talking about things that YouTube finds very sensitive, that we started lagging to the point where we couldn't stream anymore. Susan was getting triggered. That's what it seems like, Isaac. It certainly does. I was trying to respond to Thomas's post when we went down. He had a super chat up, and shoot, I should have kept that. I should have kept some text of it. But basically, it was saying, was it his father-in-law, Thomas? Are you still here? Who was? Oh, there's Thomas. Yeah, he's right here. Thomas, was your father-in-law that's trying to force you into talking into getting the vaccine? And Thomas said he was gonna show up as a complete and total zombie and tell him he got it, thanks a lot, type thing. I'm all for that. I think that would be perfect. Excuse me. It was just after vaccines, yeah, Ice Wave. And I mean, and that wasn't just your run-of-the-mill lag either. And as I told you guys, for those of you who weren't there at that point, when it first started lagging, I did a speed test on my connection as it was lagging and as we were streaming, and we're at like 440 megabits per second download and 21 megabits per second upload. To stream at 720, you need, to give you an idea, they recommend you have like 3.5, 3.7 megabits per second upload. We had 21 with the stream going. Jack says, I know she's a Karen, but why does she care about vaccines? Who the hell knows anymore, Jack? But there's just, and now you see we get a new connection, no lag, at least for the moment, till we get caught up with again. Yeah. There's nothing going on behind the scenes here. Well, just like it was also rubber band. Yeah, Krusty Bomb. It was just, and again, we know that the signal that I was sending out was hyper strong, so there had to be something to it. Jesus Christ. Willie says, I was West. My favorite hentai was deleted off of Pornhub in the Great Purge, but I found it again on anime. Also, not to get political, but what the fuck are beans? She's scared of them. It's an old Russian fairy tale. That kind of stuff, that just irritates the hell out of me. I told you guys, the YouTube thing with, if you question them about anything, you don't get a straight answer, you just get a denial, and then stuff like that. Come on. Why would our stream be lagging like that? It's not like, you're doing a remote live stream like I watch from the Disney parks or something where you're going in and out of strong signal strength. Please. Isaac says a hentai that you should see if you haven't is, it's a Deki Sekai. I've watched some. It's not my go-to when I'm doing porn. That was another thing we were talking about when she took us down too. And the thing that gets me too is I don't even get why. Well, yeah, I do, because they're sensitive. Because I don't monetize these streams because I don't want to give them an excuse to cut us off. So I don't monetize them. There shouldn't be ads on them. If there are ads, YouTube's putting them on themselves. I'm not getting any of the cut of it because I don't have them monetized. Beans are political, don't tell Heilig says. Beans are those things you flick, God says. It just, I shouldn't even let that stuff irritate me because it's just become an unfortunate part and parcel of YouTube. Hey, do you guys know too, I just looked this up. One thing that was encouraging We can live stream over at the Curtis Candy channel too, at the comedy channel. Well, this is Spaz Boys Comedy. I should just go the Curtis Candy channel. I was surprised, but because we already had a few thousand subscribers there, that channel's been around forever. We do have our streaming ability over there, so we might do that at some point too. Yeah, Mr. Badland says we should test it. Let's talk about the most fucked up political shit and see if it starts up again. And the best thing about it too, Badlands, is what was off the rails about our conversation about COVID. You know, did we come down on some people who had wild conspiracy theories? Yeah. Does Susan have an issue with that? Possibly. And Jesus Christ is back. There we go. Now Susan will think twice about screwing with the stream. It was just around when the anti-vaxxer was here. It was Ice Wave. So does Susan not trust us to contend with the anti-vaxxer? She feels like she needs to and just disrupt the entire stream. Leslie says Jesus will save us. I've heard that before. Other people have said he's all into the whole saving game and everything. Seems like a decent dude for that stuff. Code says, "Hey Jesus, do you like vaccine?" Big Green. Only in our streams do you hear, read, whatever things like, "Hello Jesus, how's everything going? Done any carpentry work later or anything? Put in some cabinets." And Jesus says, "No, this whole COVID thing is dumb." And Lick says, "Jesus," I'm going to put in quotation marks, "Jesus, my gardener." He also hook it up with the wine. Indeed, Maximus. Indeed. Chrome says, laughing at an anti-vaxxer got the stream stopped of all things. I've never seen that this stream isn't available with that quality message. Chrome, yeah, the messages I was getting were bizarre too. And the thing that really, and I didn't see it till later, I forgot to tell you guys this, because when we have just the chat streams, I have two screens I can see here. I have my Streamlabs, which is showing me in real time, and then I have the YouTube Studio in front of me so I can see what's going out. That's how I know when there's a lag. Now, on the YouTube Studio that I was monitoring, while it was lagging, the whole time it was going down, then I got black screen for a while, said this stream, this video can't be displayed, whatever. I was getting all kinds of weird shit. My little indicator here stayed green, excellent condition the whole time. So even YouTube's Studio was basically acquiescing that our signal is fine. So as it's saying excellent condition is while I'm looking at it at the spinning circle and the black screen and all the issues. So again, it's a bunch of horse shit. It was absolute garbage. I'm wondering though, like Chrome says, it was as we were making fun of the anti-vaxxer, but I wonder if, because we do know for a fact that people watch the streams from YouTube, when people start spreading misinformation, do you think they do stuff like that rather than trust that? Because rather than trust that we're just going to, as a group, we're going to beat it down, tamp it down. Do you think that might be the case? I'm just curious what you guys think of it. Because when you think about it, it started right as he started spewing that ridiculous shit about 3,000 some odd, 30 some odd hundred people have died from the vaccine and the CDC admitted to it and all this idiotic horse shit. I wonder if that's what took place. Graham's telling Jesus on Susan. Sir, Susan has committed a sin in the form of messing with these streams. Very cringe. When will God and Satan play epic Fortnite duos at 3 a.m. where demons appear and hijack the video? Yeah, true. Chrome says, well, Californians think the world needs to be nannied, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, they do. Big Daddy government. Suck on the teat of mama government. Big brother douche too doesn't trust anyone. Yeah, true, Willie. That's true too. Lou made a good point. Well, it started when we talked about porn, then eased up, then he started talking about it and it all went to shit. I just wonder because, with all the heat they're getting, even, somewhat governmentally, I'm sure they don't want to come onto a stream, have their monitors come onto a stream and say, hey, we don't like what you guys are talking about. Stop or we'll kill the stream, right? I'm sure they don't want to open up that can of worms. So if you cut the signal strength of the stream, that would be an effective way of having plausible deniability, right? Sometimes there's interruption in the signal. We can't help that. That's as plausible as it gets. Yeah, I used to. Well, I think I have told you guys that. Ice Wave. Yeah, I used to live in California. I wouldn't go back. But in fairness, I can't stand the state, New York, that I live in now either. Rockin' Steve B says the thing social media has done in the name of disinformation this past year has been quite disturbing. Seems to get worse, doesn't it, Steve? All the time. I mean, since its inception, social media has been a source of disinformation. But you're right, it's getting and that's not a one side or the other thing. It's both sides. You have lunatics, extremists on both sides just posting all sorts of disinformation on the other side, and unfortunately, you have people that will believe it rather than look things up for themselves. I would drink that vaccine if it was wine, Charlie says. Sometimes someone just happens to pour milk into the router. There's nothing Susan can do about it, Chrome says. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Hey, good to have you in, Reverend Dickey. Only thing I shouldn't preschool is my load, Oink says. Yikes. That's all we can figure, Joe Dan, is they had issue with the conversations in the first stream. That's all we can figure. And really, there wasn't anything off. I guess it depends on your sensitivity level. There certainly wasn't anything all that super offensive in it. Oh, I did. Chrome says, by the way, did you see Biden's latest gaffe of calling Kamala the president? Yeah, I did. Did you see him falling up the steps of Air Force One too, Chrome? Stumbled twice and the third try just fell right down. Way more than the whole thing, Kamala. And again, I've told you guys and I stand by it. It doesn't matter who I voted for. Whoever is president, I root for them to do well. It's in my best interest and everyone's best interest. But Biden's pulling some fairly serious boners. Here's what do you guys think about this whole thing with Putin? First of all, I don't think Biden actually said all the things he says. He said he likes to pretend he's a tough guy. He always has done that. But really, we're going to stir up and have already created a major international incident because Russians went on Facebook and said things that weren't true? Because the thing that kills me about this whole Russian interference into our election, do we like it? No, of course not. But when you say Russian interference, it sounds like they changed the vote. They got into the voting machines and somehow had an effect on the outcome. They did not. What they did was they posted a bunch of fake accounts on Facebook and Twitter and stuff and posted poor information. So basically, Russia's disinformation campaign was 100% reliant on Americans being stupid. Because all you had to do is read some of that disinformation and go to various outlets. You can't trust any one outlet, even news media anymore. We know that. So when you absorb something, particularly if it doesn't sound right, but anything at all, before you state it as fact, back it up in a few different sources. It won't take you long to out the stuff that's clearly and unequivocally just false, but people won't do that. So because people in America, there's a certain segment of the population that's lazy and is willing to just believe whatever they read without knowing the true source of it, we're going to start an international incident with Russia over it, with our president calling him a killer and telling, basically saying he's a scumbag, and now Putin saying it takes one to know one. That's what we decided to have this incident about? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm stunned sometimes by the idiocy of our leaders. Yeah, it's the Russians' fault that we're stupid, Louis says. Yeah. Or Lewis, I'm sorry. It's probably Lewis. I'm just stunned by it. Again, now if the Russians had somehow digitally intervened and changed even one vote, that's a major fucking problem. Then I'm on board 100%. But because they got on social media, listen, people within this country post disinformation all the time on both sides. Both sides employ people to do nothing but try and get the misinformation out there, especially leading up to elections. It's not, and you think that America doesn't do that and other countries are trying to affect outcomes the way that they would like? Yeah, I think they do. And this is what we're going to create an international incident about because some people believe some stupid shit on Facebook. Oh, cool, Travis. He says the Moderna shot went well yesterday. Good. Yeah, like I say, my first one was piece of cake. My wife's arm got a little sore. And mine, again, you would only know it was sore if you actually touched the spot. There was no residual soreness at all. But we get the second one a week from Monday. I'll let you guys know how it goes. Lude says, so let me get this straight. The American president is causing drama and saying dumb shit about stuff on the internet. Gee, we ever heard of this before? That's a perfect point, Lude, because that's what I said, and you guys know I voted for Trump. But I will say this. The one thing I felt in Biden winning was, okay, at least I like Trump policy-wise much better than Biden, but at least we can stop with the stupid shit. And we can't even stop with the stupid shit. We can't catch a break. Zeno says, just glad I'm in the UK. Don't blame you. Chrome says, Biden's going to end up causing more proxy wars between us and Russia. Can't wait till the next chapter in the Forever Wars. Yeah, Chrome. That was just, again, to me, that was absolutely moronic. The first thing you should be able to do as president is be really, really good at picking your battles. That's not one worth having. And Biden, absolutely, Biden should condemn the fact that they're trying to influence opinions here in America. Absolutely. We don't want them involved. But to go to these lengths over it, Biden should be saying, listen, guys, now we know this is how the Russians have influenced our election. What we need you to do is verify, 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 verify. Anything you read, see, hear, experience, before you formulate an opinion around it, verify it. But that would be asking people to take personal responsibility, and that's not always a popular thing to do as a politician, so it's easier to start an international incident over it instead. Jesus Christ. Reverend Dickey says, we all felt that way, Curtis. Honestly, I was hoping Antifa and BLM would calm down and turn on themselves. Nope, straight Christian whites are still the target. Well, even more than that, Portland's still the target. Every day, Reverend Dickey. I just, that really disappointed me, because that was the one thing, again, policy-wise, I'm much more in favor of Trump than Biden. But I was even thinking that to myself. It's like, okay, at least we can get over this, because Trump did. He did stupid shit all the time, said stupid shit, lied. It's all there. It's fact. He did all of that. And I thought, well, all politicians lie, but at least we can get away from some of that stupidity. And now you got Biden out here in the media, puffing his chest, telling him how he basically, I'm paraphrasing, told Putin to fuck off because he interfered in our election. No, Russians posted a bunch of stupid information that some Americans were dumb enough to believe. That's what happened. Trevor says, might have to move out of the U.S. just to stay relatively sane. It's scary, isn't it, pal? No, I haven't seen the new Justice League film yet. IX? I have not. A few of my friends have seen it and liked it. Tengu says Trump's strength was that he wasn't a politician. It let him say and do things that politicians wouldn't say. Trump's weakness was that he wasn't a politician. He took advice from untrustworthy people. Right. And Tengu, I mean, I think any politician who achieves enough level to even be considered for president, you probably have to have a significant amount of ego to get there. But Trump took it to a whole new level. I think that was a big part of his problem, too. Trump's ego blinds him to so many things. And I thought we were going to be past that, and apparently we are not. Arthur says, hey, governments all over the world, especially in English countries, are stepping up censorship and monitoring to an absurd degree, and everyone is getting distracted by silly nonsense. Well, Arthur, you know you're preaching to the choir there. Censorship is my bugaboo. I'm not for silencing voices. Outside of, again, someone outwardly calling for violence or harm against someone else, I'm not for censorship of any point, of any type. And I think that the social media sites have a very specific duty now to make sure that that's maintained, because yes, I know they're private entities, but private entity or not, they have become the means in which the vast amounts of information in this world are exchanged, and there should be a responsibility with that. And I think that responsibility should be that it's a level playing field. And again, as long as you're not crossing that line into calling for violence against others or something of that nature, then everybody should be able to say what they want. That's my take on it. I would be very, I mean, that's literally happening in the UK right now. I was just going to say, Lex, I was just going to say I would be beside myself if some of the things going on in the UK right now were going on here. There's not much that motivates me enough to say I would be in the streets protesting. That would get me out in the streets protesting. That really, I don't even like the whole concept of hate speech. Listen, anytime you say something mean to someone, it's hate speech. I don't want any time here in America where we're allowing anyone, specifically politicians, to draw that line and say, okay, that's not hate speech, but that is, you're going to jail. You can't say that. No, needs to be very distinct. You have to have specifically called for harm against some other person or group. Outside of that, who cares what people say? Well, I shouldn't say who cares. They should be allowed to say it and let them out themselves as being assholes. Zeno says, the only problem is that we here in the UK are running out of supply of vaccines while the US plan to vaccinate 100 million in 100 days, 42 days early. Yeah, the thing is, Zeno, and this is not something I hate Biden on. It's typical politics. When Biden said, I'm going to vaccinate 100 million in 100 days, he already knew. They already had all the details on that. He knew it was going to be way before that. That was just a political move. It was already put in place while Trump was in office. They had shipments of vaccine lined up. That was just something so he could say, hey, look what I'm doing for you. And again, that's not me hating on him. That's politicians being politicians. Me hating on him is him starting international incidents with Putin over stupid shit. But that was always going to be the case, pal. It's unfortunate that you guys are struggling to get them out there in the UK. But yeah, we had over 100 million doses purchased before there actually even was a vaccine. America had already put that kind of money into it with Johnson & Johnson and one of the other two as well, I believe. I know Johnson & Johnson. Arthur says, Chrome is right. They aren't private. They're directly funded by government and then dump it back into donations. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, absolutely. I agree. And that's why I say these social media companies should absolutely have they should not be held liable for the things people say on their platform. I don't agree with that. I think all they should be able to do, though, as far as censorship, as far as removing someone's account or removing the thing someone says, is if, as I said, it specifically is a threat, call to action against someone else, whether as an individual or as a group. Outside of that, let people say what they want and let us understand who they are. Lex says Biden is Irish. That was your first mistake. He's always had that whole thing. Lex, he's always had, as I follow politics forever. He's always had that bravado of wanting to be seen as a tough guy, and that manifests itself in things like this whole kerfuffle with Putin. That is, again, as far as I'm concerned, is just asinine. You're gonna make a big deal about the fact that the Russians tried to influence what Americans think. Well, tell your Americans to not be suckers. Mr. Croissant says, what do you think of Lola Bunny in the new Space Jam movie? I've heard it's become quite the interesting topic. See, I have mixed feelings on that, Mr. Croissant, because I think when they make the remake, they have every right to tone down her sexiness or whatever if they want to. I think the old buxomy, ridiculously over-the-top hot Lola Bunny was funnier. I think it makes for a much better sight gag, and I think she was a good character. So am I for it? No. But I think they're doing it partially because they fear the Twitter mobs? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's an artistic decision that was made probably with that as an impetus. So, in a nutshell, do they have every right to do that? Yeah. Do I think it takes away something from the character? For me, yeah, I thought that was cool. The bucks of me over the top hot bunny was funny to me. That was a funny concept. Trevor says Biden is probably the exact opposite of what I consider tough. He's always like that though. He's always wanted people to see him as a tough guy. Let's see. Crustbomb says politicians trying to be the tough guy. Well, unless you're a heavyweight boxing champ like one of the politicians in Russia, you ain't the tough guy, right, Krusty Bomb? Yeah, absolutely. And let's face it, as far as the tough guy, the tough guy resume, obviously Putin's is a lot longer, isn't he? He's a black belt in some form of martial arts and everything. And listen, we know the fact is Russia's got it going on too, because Putin can be a complete dipshit at times too with the things he says. But it was, I believe, completely wrong of Biden to start this whole incident over something as stupid as Russians trying to sway an election. As far as trying to sway an election using social media, that's on us to not be suckers, us as Americans. Oh, I wish, Monkey King. I love going to Disney. Oh, I wish, pal. Chrome says, we're not much better in the UK. The First Minister of Scotland, our leader, has been caught conspiring to jail the former First Minister on false rape charges to stop him from running again. Jesus Christ. At some point, when are the people, whether here or in the UK or wherever, going to just say enough? Because it's both sides. I have never in my life, we were just talking about that, a friend of mine was over, and he's actually a Democrat. He's a liberal. And him and I get along great, but we're both much more centrist. We don't have any extremist beliefs. But anyway, he was over last night, and we were talking about that, how, and I've lived a long time. I've never been so disgusted with politicians in general. I've never been this, oh, I hate all politicians guy, but I'm getting there. And it's because they're deserving. And again, I'm not picking sides. It's both sides. Arthur says, SJWs have been hardcore attacking Japanese artists lately. Every day they're canceling more over race or sex and demanding apologies. And it's going to continue until enough people, and I am starting to see this a little bit though. My take on that with the SJWs and the cancel culture, just mock them. Don't even take them seriously. That's what I do. If I'm on social media and you see somebody that's got their titties twisted over something ridiculous, mock them, make fun of them. Just call them out for the doofuses they are. If enough people, if you could get more people doing that, and I still believe there are way more of us than there are of them, who aren't afraid to do that, who aren't afraid of the mobs if they come out and do it, that's what'll stop it. Because to be honest with you, a lot of them I think are just society's losers, and this is the way that they go about trying to attract some attention for themselves. Look at this. Nobody else has really seen how offensive we can make this. If I'm the one who brings it up, I'm going to get so many props from the other PC warriors. Finally, Mommy, Daddy, somebody's going to love me. That's the type of people you're dealing with. So when you get enough people that are just willing to not even take them seriously and just condescend to them, pat them on the head and say, just run along now, little one. You got to say what you wanted to say. It's cute and everything and stupid, but go along. When you get enough people doing that, that's when the tide will start to turn. They can't cancel you if you don't care. Exactly right, Gone. That's what, well, that comedy contest we're having right now over at the other channel with, Burr versus Carlin. Bill Burr is the perfect example of that. How are you going to cancel him? He doesn't give a fuck. They've tried. Try and cancel him all you want. He just doesn't give a shit. So and his audience, the people he's appealing to, don't give a shit. So he's uncancelable. Luke says we should not cancel Curtis one day for some bullshit reason. Yeah. Stormstar says, so is it not okay for a strong female character to have breasts, blonde hair, and makeup? So real girls with breasts, blonde hair, and light makeup should be ashamed of themselves? Feminism. Yeah. I mean, there's nobody will make me believe that it wasn't our culture that changed dramatically the look of Lola Bunny. Now, again, does that mean the new character can't be a good character? No, she might be. But I liked the sight gag. I thought it was really funny. The whole Buxomy Bunny sight gag is hilarious to me. Lord has it. Can't we all just leave the sexy cartoons alone? Oh, Steve, he says, how about the lame excuse of the New York State governor? It's sad. The only thing I can say I'm glad of is at least the rest of the country is getting to see that. Us here in New York, a lot of us knew that all along, that he's an asshole. He thinks he's a mob boss. That's how he, that's how he fancies himself. And now the rest of the world is getting to see it. Arthur says, problem is that Japanese don't know this stuff and take it seriously and do apologize. I know, because avoid discord and apologizing is in their culture. Nope, you're right, Arthur. And the thing of it is, too, the SJWs and the PC warriors know their targets. They pick their targets carefully. They know who they can come after and who they can force into a corner with their bullshit. Mobile Bunny getting censored is a way to prevent future generations of furries access. That may be true, to a degree. Oink says, I don't think it's attention. No, I have some friends that are like that, and they do it because they think their SJW friends expect it. Essentially, be angry for woke points. Yeah, but I think that's going. I think you're in concert with what I'm saying. Like, I think when you say they do it because their SJW friends expect it, I think it's for that attention. You know what I'm saying? So we're really not in disagreement. I agree with you. I think so. I think that they do it because they want that acceptance from their little echo chamber. So we're in agreement on that. Chrome says they're apparently celebrating that some of Kyoto Animation's animators died 2 years ago because of a new Dragon Maid character who's short with giant tits. They're saying pretty awful things. Yeah. That's just, and it's going to continue until, and I know a majority of you guys aren't afraid, but until there's enough of us that are willing to go fire back on social media, and by that I don't mean even engaging. They're not worth engaging. Their reasons for cancellation are just moronic. When enough of us are out there just mocking them, poking fun at them, and hurting their little fifis, when it's done in big enough numbers, that's when things will start to turn. I believe. Lick says, I feel bad for the furries. They lost one of their jack-off icons. Now they'll have to settle for every other animal character ever. I like that. Lick's always with the break it down to the brass tacks. Issa No Good says, when did you go from amateur boxing to wrestling? Did you hit a wall or just didn't like it anymore? And what does it take to get to the level of the big orgs? Is it just connection or is it hard work? Good questions all. Amateur boxing was basically, I always liked fighting. I liked fighting arts. I loved wrestling even before boxing, but then grew up as a huge boxing fan. It was basically opportunity. It's no good. Because as, somebody in my teens, I live in California, so it's CalPAL, they called it, the California Police Athletic League. There were boxing associations and a boxing gym right in my neighborhood, so I could get involved in it, and it was fun. And, no, I never hit a wall. I loved boxing. But then when I moved out of California, I moved to New Mexico, I got an opportunity with some organization in Albuquerque to get trained in wrestling. So wrestling had always been my main love, and that was just my first opportunity to really get into it. As an amateur boxer, I was okay. Could I have turned pro? Yeah, anybody can turn pro. Was I going to go far as a pro? No. My amateur record, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was 3-1 wins to losses, exactly. Why that sticks out, I couldn't tell you. I want to say it was like 24-8 or something like that. But my hand and foot speed was average at best. All I had was a lot of punching power, and that doesn't play well, especially in amateurs, because in amateur boxing, you can play a game of tag. Just toom, 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 never hurt anybody but win the fight on points. And I was all about, if somebody was fighting me in that style, I was willing to take the punches, and I would take 3 or 4 to deliver one. So if I didn't get a knockout, it didn't usually work out well. As the second part of your question, both. You really, in general, unless you're, like to say, a son of a legend in wrestling, you're going to have to work hard and create connections. It's that's the entertainment side of it. Whereas in boxing, if you're just wildly gifted, like Marvin Hagler is a good example. People don't realize it. He never would relinquish his crew from Boston that were his handlers from the start. Even when Don King was offering him big money and stuff, he told all of them sticking in their ass he'd stay with his people. But he could do that because he was so insanely talented. He made the call. In wrestling, you're going to need some connection help, no matter what. But you will, if you're a hard worker and really, really work the business, work the indies, learn the business, do all the things right, there's a better chance of you making those connections. Hopefully that answers your question. Dollar says the furries will be fine. They have Sonic still. Colin says, did you take a wrong turn when you got to Albuquerque? I actually did. I remember being lost there a couple times gone. So yes, I did. Oh, you guys are funny. Disney World. August, that's our favorite thing. I got to make that video. I could tell you guys the details of what we've determined with my daughter. And long story short, we will be staying here. It looked for a while like we were going to be moving, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't get comfortable with leaving her. And it's not feasible for us to bring her with us. So we'll be staying here. But part of that staying here is we're going to take the money that we would have been investing in renting a place in Florida and hopefully go to Disney several times a year, because it's what my wife and I had always envisioned for our retirement years, and it's our dream. And so that's what we're planning on doing, is just being able to get away and just go, be in our happy place several times during the year. Arthur says, next post for censorship. Oh, we know a lot about the censorship thing lately here, Arthur. No doubt about that. Chrome says they canceled a Pokemon artist recently for a beautiful drawing of Nessa because they drew her with a slightly lighter skin tone than usual. Because the lighting was different, they deleted the work. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's gone absolutely off the rails. Arthur says, these days, big breasts in art makes you a misogynist, and small breasts makes you a pedo. You can't win for losing. Good point, Arthur. Yeah. Hey, the simple fact is, a lot of people like to look at a female character with big boobs. So what? If you don't like looking at the female character with big boobs, fucking don't. Who gives a shit? Go look at whatever you like looking at. I just don't get why everybody wants to cancel something if it's not what they like. Who gives it? If you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't listen to it. Don't absorb it. Don't experience it. Just get the fuck away. And get the fuck away from the rest of us, too. Jeez. Who says that's unfortunate? Yeah, very much understand. I'll make it's actually kind of a difficult video for me to make. But there's 69 of you in here right now, so what better time to explain it? I'll explain. The basic concept is, even though they've been cut back severely, there are no states that have really quality services for the disabled. The services here in New York are superior. It's one of the few things New York does do, are superior to that of Florida or any place else we've been thinking about moving. Also, there's the fact that we never imagined in a million years that my stepdaughter, who was what doctors told my wife when she first got spinal meningitis, she would only live to about 5 or 7 years old. And now she's 30. Let's see, this year she'll turn 35. It never dawned on us that we might have to make plans with the idea in mind that she may someday outlive us, and she might. So the thing is, there's a waiting list to get into the assisted living homes, or the type of situation that my stepdaughter would need. Well, given all those circumstances and how things are constantly changing here in New York, and things are being cut back nationwide for the disabled, my wife and I both, we couldn't get comfortable with moving to Florida, even though our plan was to come back here and see her regularly. let my daughter be placed in the system here so we know where she will be, because we know a lot of the people that work the system here. Even at that, I can't get comfortable with it. There's so many things that she relies on every day for her happiness. Whether it's, as you guys saw, me talking about Chinese food, or even after she takes her shower, she's a ruffian. She always has been. She wants me to roughhouse with her while I carry her back and actually body slam her into her bed at night. She's hysterical. It's things that every day that go on that make her happy that I'm just afraid would not take place. And so towards that end, as much as I hate it here in New York, this state sucks. I'm tired of the winters. I'm tired of the politics here. I'm tired of the taxes here. We're going to be with her. And again, we'll take the money that we're going to invest in renting a house down there, and we'll just use it towards regular trips to go down and get a piece of what we've always wanted for our retirement. And I am much, much more comfortable with that. I mean, it's a difficult decision, but it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's the right decision. Every day when I look at her, interact with her, my daughter, it's the right decision. I wish I could hurry up with the Cameo, Bob. I don't think they're going to let me in. I was telling the gang here, I kind of suspected when I applied, they don't care about anything but your Twitter followers. So they're basically, Cameo is set up to give people with big Twitter followings a platform. I told it, I said, I'm basing it on my YouTube following. I never tried to boost my Twitter followers up at all. YouTube is where I do my social media, but they don't care about YouTube. They only care about Cameo. If we really want to do it, it's not difficult. Everything that Cameo does, I could set up for you guys myself. Where you could just go, I have web space anyway. You just go to my website, order whatever you wanted on a video. I'll make it, and then I'll give you a link where you can download it onto anything. You can download it I put the link on Mega. From Mega, you can download onto your phone, onto your PC, onto anything you want. So that would be probably our only option. Let's see. Yeah. Like Chrome says, Twitter. It's all about Twitter. They got to have some sort of working connection. The two of them, they have to, because that's all they care about is Twitter. Ninja Gecko says, God bless. Well, thank you. That's nice of you to say. More than understandable. No one will blame you for wanting to look after your daughter. Chrome said, no, right? And I just couldn't get comfortable with it, Chrome. I just again. It's not even a case of, you can't even say, well, it's admirable to put your child's needs in front of your own. It goes beyond that. I wouldn't even be comfortable. I wouldn't enjoy living in Florida with her up here. I just wouldn't. I would rather just suck it up, stay here. See, this house is old too. I told you our house was built in 1860 something, and it needs more work. Well, I wasn't going to do a lot of the more intricate work on it because I wasn't going to keep the house. So now I'm just going to have to get involved in that. I'm going to have to fix things up here, and we'll just take our trips to Disney. The next one we have planned is in May. We'll take our trips to Disney as often as we can, and that'll be our retirement. Susan tried to stop me, but I'm here. Suck it, Susan, Barry says. Oh, Susan's been being a real bitch today, Barry's. A real bitch today. Oh, yeah, my brother's playing land soon. Later, later, Downward. Good fortune to you and your brother. Very good getting to see your brother. Yeah, family is so important, Steve Genko. Yeah, and I just can't get comfortable with it. Again, those are the little things that it's not anybody else's fault. Nobody else knows that these are the little things that make her happy. And she would be being tended to by people who are doing it for a living, not because they love her. And that's a big difference. Yeah, it's 160 years, that's fairly old. That's why Chrome, in a lot of shots I do around the house and stuff, we've mentioned before, you'll see this room has it, where the ceiling tiles cave a little. That's because you can't stay ahead. I change them regularly. But because the house still continues to shift, and because the house has been shifting for so many years, nothing in this house is square. Like the door to our bedroom has a piece of wood cut into what's the word I want, guys? Into a shim, just to make the door close because it has gone so far out of square. What the hell, did you change the green screen? Barry says. Green screen's always getting updated, bro. Got to keep things looking like their natural living quarters. Damn round two, Blue Morpho says. May I have a... Oh, actually, Lude, no, perfect time. If you got a minute, I was just going to say I'm going to have to pack up the stream because I got a couple more things to take care of this afternoon. I'm hoping to get that over at the other channel. I might post it here, too, just to let you guys see it before we move everything entirely strictly to the Curtis Candy channel with the comedy stuff. But I'm hoping to do that that WAP old white man dramatic reading. So hopefully I'll be able to get that. If not today, it'll probably be like Sunday. Tomorrow's a really busy day for me too. But guys, thank you for these streams, both of them. As you can see, we're obviously the victims of some sort of fuckery in the first one, because as soon as we restarted it, it was fine. So apologies for that. I appreciate you guys hanging with me and coming back for the second one and everything. You guys are the best. This is, and I know that's why sometimes I don't get to the gaming streams as much as I would like to. It's just because I enjoy this so much. And hey, Lou's got to get going. So I'm going to distribute this. I'm going to speak too. I'm going to distribute the Free for All Friday sticky stuff. Now, this is Free for All Friday sticky stuff. I got pretty pissed off with the whole, with the whole lag thing. So this is some bubbling sticky stuff. I mean, it's aggressive. Just be careful. Just be careful. I'm just telling you, as you utilize the sticky stuff in every way you want for consumption, moisturizing, whatever you use, however you use it, just be careful. It's aggressive. I don't want anybody going to prison. And if you do go to prison, let me know. I'll come join you. We'll be buddies, and we'll make friends in the joint. Because everybody needs a little loving sometimes. Here it comes. It's bubbling sticky stuff. It's frustrated, annoyed sticky stuff. Very aggressive. Be careful with it. Pampu, pampu. Sticky stuff for you. Sticky stuff for you. Here's some extra for you, Lude, because you had to go. Sticky stuff for you. Sticky stuff for you. Sticky stuff for you. Hey, you guys, don't try and intercept the special sticky stuff I sent to Lude. You guys play nice. Sticky stuff for everybody, because we'll bang, okay? Flashing like buggy. And as always, most importantly, and it's always bubbling. Goose, 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 goose. Mmm.